Okay, it's so good to see you guys, see your faces. If you can be on camera, we love that. Totally understand if you can't. But anyhow, we are here for day 2 of our Connected Summit. Super happy to have you all here with us. We'll run through just a couple of quick housekeeping things. There's a workbook that is in your email. If you haven't had a chance to print that off, you can go ahead and print it off. The replays went out yesterday. They'll be available to watch until Friday the 1st. And so once those come down, if you want to have notes and things, just put them on the workbook and then you'll have it. I also have my Calendly link is open, and Katie can put that in the chat for us. I offer free 30-minute coaching calls during our summits. I just block my schedule off for that. And so those are available to you. They're just to connect and see if there's any way that I can support you in your mental, physical, or spiritual well-being. And, there's lots of free resources and things I can send your way. So those are just here for you. What else? The replays, like I said, they went out yesterday. If you didn't get that email or you need help finding the link for that, let us know. And so short recap of yesterday was about energy. We talked a lot about energy and just kind of laying that foundation of why all this even matters, what energy is, how it impacts everything around us. And then today we're going to dive in deeper into how do we actually raise our frequency, because everything is vibrating, nothing is actually at rest. So how can we vibrate at a different frequency to match different experiences in our life? So we're going to dive into that a little bit. And then, so yesterday we also revealed our big surprise and announcement was that we have a new option to work with us. We have created a community, and this was birthed out of the desire to have a safe place for people to come, to be heard, to be seen as you're seeking alternative, holistic support in your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. I know a lot of people are understanding that the system is not serving us anymore. I don't know that it ever was, but it certainly isn't now. And by system, I mean the healthcare system, the food chain system, the governmental systems, the school system, like just all the systems. Things are evolving and changing, and I think we're realizing that as humans, we require something outside of a system. And so we are a spiritual being, and we're going to get into that a little bit more today. But we need more than just a system to not make us, but for us to work and function optimally. So I think several people are starting to kind of get back to our roots. Like, how in the world did humanity make it this far without medications, without vaccines, without so many of the things that we're told that we need that may be causing more harm than good? How in the world have we got this far? And so I think there are lots of people who are starting to seek alternative, holistic answers. And for me, I started to incorporate some of those things. But when I started incorporating the mindset piece and the spiritual piece of it, it really started to bring it full circle. So my desire is to create a place for people to come and to feel comfortable asking those weird questions or the out of the box questions, while still feeling supported by open-minded people, and having available resources to you that may not be what you see in the mainstream. So our goal in this membership is to equip and empower you so you can be in a state of readiness for the opportunities and life experiences that you desire having. So it's said that, when we have our health, we can set many goals. When we lose our health, we only have but one goal, and that is to get it back. And so I think that sometimes we withhold ourselves from a very full experience of life because we're not in a place of readiness to go, meaning physically, meaning mentally, meaning spiritually. And so when we have these things in context, in connection together, and they're in harmony and it's working, and we're at our best, then we're able to have, we're able to have different career experiences. We're able to have different relationship experiences. We're able to show up differently in our business or in our work. and our health is at a better quality. So I am here to help people have better physical health, feeling their best with plenty of energy, having clear, confident mental stamina, having a deeper spiritual connection with true joy and an unshakable peace. So those are a couple of things that we are working towards inside this membership. So who's this for? This is for anyone who's new to our space. If you have been following along, if you like what you see in the Ignite Outcomes group, I can promise you, you can like, I don't know, 10x, 50x. It's going to be so much more inside this group, because on social media, as we all know, you have to filter everything that you say or they'll take it down. So this is a private community where you can come and we can have a lot different conversations, very open, honest conversations. And so if you're new here, this is a great place for you to start. If you are new to the world of looking for alternatives, this is a great place to start. If you've been looking for alternatives for a while and you've already been in that space, this is a great place for you to come and share your experiences with other people, to have like-minded, open-minded people around you to continue growing in. We're also going to have guest speakers come in, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So this will reach people from from one end of the spectrum to the other, and I'm going to go full out in the community. So if you're new, just take what you can implement and do it as you can and grow into more. And then if you've been on this bandwagon for a while, I think there will still be things that serve you and hopefully new perspectives from other people coming in to guest speak inside the community. And then you be able to make connections with people who are in the same thought process as you, as we support each other and, learn about each other and what resources we might have available to each other. So that is kind of who this is for. And it's also for, I have several family members and friends who have kind of been following along this journey, I guess you might say, who are interested in what I have to say or what we can offer, but are not ready to commit to something, or maybe we're too close in the relationship we already have established that you don't desire establishing like a professional relationship with me where I actually coach you. That's totally okay. I totally get that. I've even turned down some coaching opportunities for people that I didn't think that we would be a good fit because we are close in other ways. And so I would have rather honor that relationship that we already have. So this is a great place for you if you fall into that category of, we're friends, I really don't want you knowing all my business and coaching me, but I do want to be supported. This is for you. This is a great place for you to be. This is also for past clients. So those of you who are either current or past clients that are looking for, maybe you want to get back in the energy of what we're doing. Maybe you are looking for community support because we have group sessions inside of our coaching program. And so if you're missing that group aspect, that encouragement, that accountability, just the feeling of, hey, I'm not in this alone and I'm not crazy, then this is for you. Like, come back into our world. And I would love to continue the relationship with you as well. So this is also cost effective and time efficient. So if you are like, I'm a busy mom, or I've already committed to some things, or whatever the case may be, that you're not quite ready for a 6-month program or a 6-week program, or, the one-on-one coaching, or, you're just kind of getting your toes in, then this is an awesome place for you to be as well. Maybe you're in a season of life that kind of got busy, you kind of got off the bandwagon and you're ready to get back on, but you're just going to take some baby steps getting there. Great place for you to be. There's no contract. You can cancel this at any time. So it's just a monthly subscription. You cancel it whenever you want to. So it's it's literally created for you. Like, my hands are kind of off of it. I'll be in it, but this is yours. So inside the membership, we're covering every Wednesday at noon. We will have a live session with me where we're going to talk about different topics. So on the first week of the month, we're going into physical health. Did I say it's on Wednesdays at noon on Zoom? Sorry. We'll talk about physical health the first week, mental health the second week, spiritual health the third week, and the fourth week is going to be an integration session where we actually sit down and do the work together. So information and knowledge are potential. That's potential. The power is in the implementation of it. And I think that's where a lot of us get hung up. Information's floating around everywhere. But the implementing it on our side is where the magic will happen. So that's what those sessions are for. I want to hear back from you. We're gonna have open Q&A. For if we are in community with each other, community is not me talking at you. Community is us communicating. And so that session is there. I think those are going to be really, really fun sessions for us to get to know each other and just have fun together implementing the things that we're talking about. Okay, beyond that, so guest speakers are coming in. I already have 3 lined up. So they're coming in every 4 to 6 weeks. So we have 3 months of guest speakers coming in. We have a pharmacist who is very much into functional medicine and things like that. We have a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner coming in who just took some courses or went to a conference. She's a friend of mine. She was telling me she just went to a conference on like alternative, I'm going to butcher it, like alternative therapies or kind of different thought processes on mental health. And so I'm really excited. We're going to have a Zoom meeting soon, and I'm going to, she's going to share with me kind of the things that she learned to see how we can serve this type of community in a different way. So I have a nursing degree, so I cannot legally advise people like if you desire getting off some medications that you might be on, I can't do that, but she can. And so I'm really excited to kind of partner with her and work with her in that way. So she'll be coming on, and then we have a fabulous, amazing marriage counselor who is going to be joining us also with many, many, many years of working with people, mentoring, counseling people. And so I think a lot of us as women, we try to change and we try to help our families, and sometimes our family doesn't want our help and it gets kind of messy there. But I think he is going to have a really great perspective for us on how to better communicate and how to effectively make changes within our home that can still bring harmony, because we disrupt the harmony when we begin to change, which is not bad. It just can be uncomfortable. And so how can we do that in a peaceful way? Anyhow, so he's coming in. I'm so excited, guys. I have pages here of things we're gonna do. Okay, and then all the sessions will be recorded. If you can't be on Wednesday at noon, it's okay. Being on live will help you because you'll have a more emotional impact from that, and emotional impact brings about change quicker. So being on live will be great, but if you can't be on, it's totally fine. They'll be recorded and then they'll be added to a client vault. So this vault is where we'll store everything in the vault for you. We'll also put additional resources, exclusive resources just for the community here. And, when these guest speakers come in, we'll also add their information, their contact, anything that they mention, if they mention supplements or if they mention whatever. This really is not like a salesy thing at all. I'm not here to sell you things, but I am here to give you resources, and I want you to know where you can go to find them easily and it be cohesive, because if things are not organized for me, I forget about them and I don't really have time to go back and dig it all out. So I'll put everything together. If we mention links, if I mention meditations or whatever, there's a resource section in there where this will all be stored for you, very organized. And then one of the last things I want to mention is that so anything that you use, let's say you're in the membership for 2 months and then you decide, hey, I need more support. I need more, maybe deeper one-on-one coaching, or you decide I really want to go full out and do the Transform course, whatever it may be. Whatever you've spent in your membership can be used as a credit towards any other coaching products that you desire with what we have to offer. A portion of it, depending on how long that you've been in the membership and which program you desire further support in. So I'm super happy to be able to offer that to you as well, because some people are like, do I want to do the 6-week program? Do I want to do the 6-month program? Do I do the membership? Which one? Whichever one you choose, we can use a portion of it as a credit for you to continue in your journey growing. Okay. So there's also a welcome video already in the vault. And Katie, I don't know if she put that in the chat. If she could drop the link for the membership in the chat, that'd be awesome. There's a welcome video in there. It's ready, waiting for you. And then Katie James is my assistant. She is going to be helping me facilitate the course. I'll be doing all the teaching, but if you need support, if you need links to anything, if you want to share this membership with family or friends, whatever the case may be, she's your girl. So you go to Katie, ask Katie, she'll have you the answers. She's on Facebook Messenger, and her email is also available. Those two links are inside your vault already, so you can contact her. And then, okay, so this membership is $95, $95 a month, less than $100. You get all of these things for less than $100 a month to be part of this. I'm offering a founding members price of $75 a month for life because I want to say thank you and I appreciate everyone who is being a founding member of this amazing thing that I'm super excited to see where it grows and how that works out. So the founding members, you guys get a 20% discount off every single month for life when you join today. And then let's see, we also have a sneak peek bonus session for you. Okay, there's three things. So you get the founding members price at $75. You get a sneak peek bonus session on Monday, the 28th at noon. If you are a member by Monday, the 28th at noon, we're doing a sneak peek bonus session over sickness halts progress. So how do we support our body during wintertime, and how do we support our body when we get sick in natural ways? So I think that's going to be a really fun session. I'm excited for that. And that session will not be included in the vault. That will just be a thank you to everyone who decided to take action, and I appreciate you type of session. So, and then the third thing is when you are enrolled by midnight tomorrow night, after the summit ends tomorrow. So if you enroll by midnight tomorrow night, you also get our Overcoming Anxiety webinar completely free. So those are the three things. $20 discount every month for life, the additional sneak peek bonus session on Monday, and then the Overcoming Anxiety webinar for free. Okay, that is the cat that snuck out of the bag, and we are pumped about it. All right, so let's jump in. Does anyone have questions? If you guys have questions, put them over there in the chat box. Take yourself off mute, whatever you want to do. And I'll check that again at the end here. If you think of questions throughout our time together, put them over there and we'll get back to that. All right, so on page 6, we are jumping into how to raise your frequency. So we talked about energy yesterday. Everything is energy. Everything is vibrating, nothing rests. The only thing that makes this pen look different than this phone is the way that the molecules are vibrating between it. They're vibrating at a different hertz. So how can we raise our energy? Raising your energy is actually easy when we follow universal natural laws put into place for us and we let go of resistance. So I truly believe that we were created in a certain way to be vibrating on a level that is as close to our maker as possible. And I think that that's what we're all actually striving to get back to. That's where we feel good. So this happens best, though, when we don't force it, but rather when we let go of the resistance of trying to make it happen. So our natural state when we came into this world as a baby, like babies are generally happy. I mean, unless they're hungry or tired, they come in, they're happy. Everything's magical. Life is fabulous. There's no judgment. They're just pure love. They're pure joy. Like they are pure goodness. We are that too. That is our blueprint. That is where we started, and that's where we desire to be. And so when we fall short of that, AKA sin, if that's what you want to call it, when we fall short of that, we no longer are a match to our truest, highest potential self that is the closest match to God. So Abraham Hicks describes it as a cork floating on the water. So when a cork has weight put on it by, say, external things in the world that come along and they put weight on this cork and it sinks and it sinks and it sinks, the best way to get the cork up is for the cork not to try to push itself up against the weight. It's just to shed the weight off. The cork will naturally float back to the top, to its natural state. That's how it was created to work. So I believe that we're the same way. So many times we put mental blocks, we put up, we recirculate through emotional patterns We bring up the past. We do all of these things. We tell ourselves stories of why we can't and about who we are that aren't true and all of this stuff. We let our identity sneak in. That's not even our identity. It was maybe created for us. We let all these things come in that keep us from floating back up to our natural state of being. So releasing the resistance, I think, is the most powerful thing that we can do to help raise our frequency. So when we truly understand the power of this energetic work, it is sincerely life-changing. So I would ask you, are you willing to make time for yourself? I think one of the biggest, maybe if you want to get into like spiritual warfare type things, is distraction. I've said it for many, many years. There's several things that I personally don't feel I struggle with, but I will tell you the one thing that will take me off course is distraction by not bad things. It's just a distraction from where I'm really headed. So are you willing to make time, not just for this work, but for you? Because you are the impact and you are the point of power and connection for everybody and everything else around you. So sometimes as moms, like we're not willing to do it for ourselves, but we'll do it for our kids. So like that's where we have to start and start there if we need, because I think we have greater love for our kids sometimes than we have for ourselves. And so I would really encourage you to find a way of motivation, whatever you want to call it, inspiration, to start making the time for you to go in deep and do this interconnected work. So would you make time to focus your attention and steward your time and resources well? That's one thing, an affirmation I've been telling myself is I'm a good steward of my time and money. If I believe I'm a good steward of those things, then I believe I'll be open to receiving more. So as children, our parents did their best to nurture, to nourish, guide, and direct us. As adults, sometimes I think we're still waiting on someone to come save us. We're still waiting on someone to care for us. It gets hard. Let's be honest. It gets hard. It gets like the relentless work every day. Like, what are we going to eat today? What's for dinner? What's for breakfast? This is poisonous. Oh, I thought it was good. Oh, now it's not. Like, what? It can be really frustrating sometimes and draining, quite frankly, I think would be the word. I have some moms on here shaking heads. Yes, I think that's the word. But it can feel overwhelming and just that a decision fatigue also of like what is best. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Like we're all doing our best over here. But when we come to this place of saying, okay, like no one's coming to save me, and wow, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to accept that to be true, because all my life I grew up watching Cinderella stories where the prince came in at all times, and where is he? Here we are. We might feel stranded alone on this island out here trying to do our best. But at the same time, I think when we accept that, and when we accept the fact, and I will say that it is a fact that we have within us what it is required to do this, it brings a sense of peace to me after I got over the resistance part of I don't want it to be that way. It brought me a sense of peace to know that I truly do have, if especially, I mean, I mentioned yesterday I'm a Christian, so I'm going to go there for just a second. But if I truly believe that I have the Spirit of Christ in me, the Holy Spirit, and I have that is inside of me, then truly everything I require for everything in my life is inside of me. That brings back a sense of power. Responsibility also, which we don't really like that part of it, but we give away our power and we lose our power when we are not responsible for things. So although we're not responsible for everyone and everything around us, we are responsible for us, for how did we respond to that thing? What are we going to do now? How are we going to move forward? Who are we going to be now? That's the part that we get to choose every single day. And it's not a one time we chose it and we are it forevermore. Oh no, we get opportunities to choose this moment by moment by moment. It is a never ending thing. But it doesn't have to be a burden. it can be a blessing. We can see the blessing in our power to choose. So, no one can do this work for you. I feel like I'm like bringing this in hard and heavy today, we're going to lighten it up here in just a little bit. But I really, after working with people for quite some time now, and even just working on myself, I've come to the realization that no one can do this work for you. And that is why it's the most important work that you will ever do. There's things that other people can do for you, and there's kind of ways we can weasel out of some things here and there, and we can ignore some things in our life, and we can get by and whatnot. But this work right here, no one else can do for you. You must go through it. There's no going around it, over it, under it. It is just the going through it. But the process does not have to have resistance. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be doable, and you can find ways to even enjoy it. So I like to find ways to enjoy this work with people. Even in the moments that it's uncomfortable, it might feel sad, we might feel angry, might feel whatever the emotions are. We can still find a way to find joy in it and a peaceful way to do it. So, although it is a nice to have other people's validation, they're like, oh, you're doing a great job. Oh yeah, I think that's a good idea, whatever. Although that's a nice to have, you don't actually need it to elevate yourself. You don't have to have encouragement or validation from anyone else in order for you to grow. And I hope that truth sinks in really deep for you today. Because I know for me, I was kind of looking for that outside of me. Like, is this normal? Is this okay? I don't see anyone else really doing this. But I'm telling you, I have so many conversations with people behind closed doors in my line of work that we are all really the same at heart. And so some people can't see it for themselves, so therefore they can't see anything better for you either, because they're stuck in their own mess up here. So you don't need their validation to grow. You are free to do that on your own. And would you step out in enough faith to do so? You cannot give a gift that you have not yet cultivated within yourself. If you are trying to love someone, or if you're trying to forgive someone, if you're trying to help someone be a better person or have their health back, or whatever gift it is that you're trying to give to someone else, we have to back that way up and make sure for sure that we've cultivated that through and through within us first. And I will tell you, honestly, this coaching business has refined me and put me through the fire and refined me again. But every single time God has been faithful, and I've seen him through the fire and on the other side of the fire in such ways that I cannot deny it. And it was discouraging at first, but now it's almost like it is confirmation. To see the process. And the more I open myself up and allow the process to happen, the more enjoyable it is, and the faster I can move through it. Like, I don't stay stuck in the fire so long, because I know there's another side to it. And I just move through it easier, if that makes sense. So, to give love, peace, forgiveness, confidence, light, you must first become those things. People can see straight through us, even through our screens on Facebook or whatever, people can see straight through us. We all can do that. It's called energy. We can read each other's energy, whether we want to admit it or that sounds weird or whatever. You can feel through someone's words, through their tone, whether they typed the words up, through their picture, through their interactions with people, you can feel their energy. And so we must first be these things, become these things and be them if we desire to give them in our world. Once it is your natural state, it flows from you without effort. So I see this a lot with spouses, and I was there too myself. I was becoming different, maybe more confident or more loving. I was liking myself more, and I had, forgiven things. And I was like, oh, I want this for my husband. Like, I want him to have the peace that I have. I want him to experience like the fullness and the joy that I'm experiencing. I want all this for him. And I kept trying to give it to him and make him experience it. That wasn't working. And that's exhausting when we try to like put that out on people. What I found to be super effective and amazing for my own energy is when I just go be it. I don't have to convince anyone else. I just go be it. And they see it and they're attracted to it and they want it. And it has nothing to do with me. Like, I can set my ego aside and just be, be love, be peace, be whatever. And that radiates very strongly. And I'm not perfect at it by any means. I have my moments still. I'm still having this human experience. But when I allow this spiritual connection that we're about to talk about to be my state of existence of who I am, it takes all the work out of it for me, because I am it, because I already did the work ahead of time to connect with that power, to be able to open myself up and just allow the flow of it to come to and through me. That, my friends, impacts people. And you don't have to sit there and keep tabs on whether or not did it work or not, or is he doing it or not, or is that person, did they get it or not, or did they judge me or not, or whatever. It takes all of that away from it when you are so confidently being love and light. It is the most freeing experience of life I've had yet. And I hope to continue growing in that awareness. I think it's an ever expanding awareness that we continue growing in. Okay, so will you connect and step into what God has made available to you? We talked yesterday about energy that, like a radio frequency, the waves are all around us. It's what our receptor is set to. Those radio waves are projected 96.5, 95.5, 94.3, whatever. It's all out there. We can't really see it. It's just energy. It's vibrational frequencies. It's hertz. But where's our receptor set to? Which one are we going to receive? So this is available to everyone. There are trillions of dollars floating around in the world that are available to us. There are healthy options around there somewhere in the world that are available to us. There is a way for us to grow healthy food, to, do those things. There are amazing, amazing, loving people out there. Are we in connection with them? Because are we an amazing, loving person? So the ability and capability for whatever it is you desire is here. It's here for you right now. And I think one of the biggest blocks we get hung up in is we're always looking for it. Instead of accepting the fact that it's already here, could we become a match to it now? How do we do that? Because creation is finished. It's like the airplane. The ability to fly the airplane's been here for thousands and thousands of years. Man just became aware of, how do we get the metal out of the ground? How do we put it together? How do we defy gravity? How do we make all this work together? But the metal has been there in the ground for how long? Gravity's been here for how long? All of the parts were here. We just became aware of how to put it together. So when I talk about manifesting, creation is finished in that way that it's like kids. I mentioned this yesterday. It's like kids coloring and painting. We provide the colors, the paint, the scissors, the glue, and then so that part of creation, the foundation, I guess you might say, is here. What they put together and create with it, that's where their freedom of choice comes in, is the way that I see it. So, okay, let's go to page 7. Spiritual connection. So when I'm a Bible believing person, and most of you I see on here, I think, are as well. So we're going to go there today. We're just doing it. When I started coaching, I was really recommended to not be religious. And I just can't help but bring the Bible in. I have to. After looking at manifestation and studying personal development and all these things, I would always bring it back to what the truth of God's word was. Because that has been proven true for me. He says, test me in these things. Test me and see that I will not open the doors of heaven and whatnot. The verses, don't get me quoting scripture. It sometimes is not fabulous, but I can usually get close enough to go Google it and find it. Anyhow, when we when we test these things, and I encourage you to do the same. Don't just take my word for stuff today. Go test it. Put it to work. See what happens. I started writing an evidence journal because I would not believe the things that were happening in my life had they not been happening to me. And that has been my living proof for the work that I do today. So back to the Bible, Jesus said he would leave us the Holy Spirit as our helper and our comforter. That was a promise. So that is available to us, to every person. Are we in connection with that? So it is a command. In Galatians 5:25, he says, since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. Are we keeping in step with the Spirit day by day? So I think God knew that we needed the Spirit. I always look at things like, I don't think God doesn't need us to be in connection with the Spirit. Like he's going to be God no matter whether we're in the connection or not. Like, he gave that as a gift to us. Like, what would we do with the gift? I think so much of the Bible is written for us. Not that, yes, in the obedience of it, I think it pleases God. Beyond that, I think science even is now proving so much of the Bible to be true. Like he said, do it this way. And now we're like, oh, well, it's actually, if we do these things, or if we eat this way, that's good. And if we don't eat, like, so let's say pork, for example, is full of parasites and a lot of diseases and things like that. It's an unclean meat. So, I mean, just several instances where he said to do things a certain way. And now science is like backing it up. Why? Why is that beneficial? And so I think that that's really, really cool. So, okay, we are all on a spiritual journey. This whole thing called Lauren, is a spirit. I am spirit. I think we all are created as spirits. Then we are housed in this physical body, having a human experience with an intellectual mind. I think we have to go back to our roots of spirit. We are spirit. And that impacts everything else, our body, our mind, our everything that we're in contact with around us. When we cut that off, we cut off our life flow. The power, the supply chain is cut off. And that's where the exhaustion sets in, the depression sets in, the overwhelm, the anxiety, all of that sets in when we feel alone. We're not alone. And so much of what we're experiencing is our perception of what's happening around us. And that can be changed. So if we go back and nourish the spirit and its experience first, it will have a profound effect on the other two, the body and the mind. When these three are in true connection and harmony, then you can experience all the goodness and abundance life has to offer. So that's not to say you won't experience goodness and abundance in life, but I think you're going to experience it on a whole different level when you are spiritually connected. So connecting spiritually, to me, another example of this, I may have mentioned this yesterday. I started forgetting what I've said. But it's like, when you're vacuuming the floor and you run the lines across the carpet and nothing happens. So you did the work, you did the things, but did you take time to plug the vacuum into the source of power that comes from the wall? That source of power is greater than you. It took you can plug the vacuum in also and not go take the action. The vacuum's not going to clean the floor just because it's plugged into the wall. It requires you to go push it back and forth. I mean, I guess now we have things that are different, but listen, we're going back old school to make the point. But, it requires both to produce the effect that we're looking to have. So, I wanted to read you guys in Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5:15-20. It says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit. So a couple things and then I'll go on from there. But, he says, be careful how you live. Pay attention how you live. Slow down. Look at what you're doing. Make decisions that are in alignment with God, with his will for you, because what he put in this word is goodness for you. Make the most of every opportunity. I think that is why sometimes we have regret in our life, because we did not make the most of every opportunity. And we know that the days are short, and he says the days are evil. So what are you doing in every opportunity, every moment? And that's another reason why I said this is not a one and done type of thing. This isn't like I made a decision to be awesome today and then something not awesome happened, and so now I'm not awesome. No, you get to make the decision again. You might have to make the decision 10 times in the same day because something might keep coming up. But you get to decide, are you going to make the most of every opportunity? Are you going to be at your highest potential? And by that, I don't mean with a force behind you. I mean, are you going to open up? Are you going to be love and peace and joy in every situation? Are you going to be the light of God everywhere you are? So make the most of every opportunity. And therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Understand. That means like we might have to like study it to understand it. We might have to meditate and think on it to understand it. We might have to seek it out and search this thing out for a little bit to understand it. We might have to put it to use in our life to make it make sense for us. And we might not do that perfect for quite some time, but we are to practice it, to start understanding it more and more. If I want to understand how to, I'm a very, very, what's the word? Totally just lost the word. Like I learn by seeing things and I learn by doing things. I don't learn that great by being told what to do. I try. My husband gets so frustrated with me. He's like, Lauren, I said, let's just hit the ball. Like, just take your arms and just hit the ball. And when for some reason my arms are doing this, like it just didn't get from here to the action that I wanted. It takes a lot of refinement sometimes for me to hear something, to be told something, to do it this way, and to actually execute it that way. So I think it's the same with the word of God. Go be this in the world, and you go try to be that, but it didn't turn out. Like you weren't actually, it wasn't quite as successful as you thought. Go practice again. It's okay. So understand what the Lord's will is. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit. Being filled with the Spirit is like being drunk on wine, but even better because you don't have any side effects. And you can produce this feeling at any time. It is right within you. You don't need something outside of you to produce this feeling, these emotions, this high, if you will, on life. It's available right here. So speaking to one another in psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit. So for me, like when we get down here to ways to connect spiritually, our speech right here, he says, speaking to one another. Speaking to one another is a spiritual connection. You're a spirit, I'm a spirit. We're connecting together. So this isn't just about our connection with God. It is, but it's also about our connection with each other and building up a spiritual connection that empowers each other, that lifts us up. So when speaking together, and then singing songs and music. And I think that I love listening to songs, and that does something for me. But when I'm in a room with other spirits of people and we are singing and using our voices together, that is such a powerfully felt experience. Like, do you guys feel that way too? I'm just curious. Yeah. Like if you have ways that you connect spiritually, type them over here in the chat. I want to hear from y'all. Like what do you do that makes you feel spiritually connected? Yeah. Worship, songs. Let's see if this pulled up. I'm going to keep going while you guys put your ideas over here. Worship. Yeah. Being together. Nature. Yeah, girl, I'm getting to nature. This is awesome. Okay. So songs. And then he says also, I kind of chase rabbits sometimes. So I appreciate you guys putting that in there. I'm going to move on while you keep doing that. Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. I love this last part. Always giving thanks to God the Father for everything. Woo, let's back that up. That's so simple, but that is so powerful. Always. So it means in the easy seasons, in the tough seasons, in the dry spells, in the rainy seasons, in the whatever season you're walking through, always find a way, find something to be thankful for. And I don't think that's out of God's ego that he wants you to thank him for just everything. I think that does our heart so much goodness when we remain in a state of gratitude at all times. Always giving thanks to God the Father for what? For everything. Even the hard stuff. Even Romans 8:28, God causes all things to work together for those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. He causes all things to work together for good. Even when we cannot see it, even when it doesn't feel good, even when it doesn't seem good, even when it's really, really hard, there is always goodness to be found in it somewhere. And that is a natural law. Every cell that is in our body, every atom that's in the atmosphere has a positive and a negative in it. There is an electron and a proton and a neutron and a, don't get me on too much science, but there's positive and there is a negative charge to everything. The contrast, what's the law? I just lost the word again. I'm a little bit sleepy today. The law of polarity. There we go. The law of polarity. There's two opposing ends to everything, a positive and a negative. So it is a natural state, but could we find a way to give thanks to the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ? I love that. And I think that that is a really powerful, powerful way to come into connection and community with the Spirit within us, with God, and with each other. Okay, and then another way, so I'm gonna read what you guys put up here. Harmonizing in worship with songs, sunsets, deep prayer with a true friend. Oh, I love that. Yes, there's something about harmonizing voices. I've been singing to my kids at night, and I have for quite a while, but they like they love it when they get to sing with me and we somewhat harmonize, if that's what you want to call it. But it's the cutest thing. They even like they perk up. Their demeanor changes when our voices match each other. It is a really, really cool thing. Did this today, had a gut check last night. Yeah, girl. Well, the gut checks, they can be fun. Well, I'm glad you're here today. Perfect timing. But okay, so songs, our speech, finding gratitude, and then prayer. Prayer, did we just ask? Ask and it shall be given. If we seek a deeper connection with the Spirit within us, have we just thought to ask? What if it was that easy to receive? Then the other end of the asking is us opening up to receive. We can ask for something and close ourselves off to the reception of it. So this is where this inner work comes in, is us being open to receive what we've asked for in full faith that it is coming or that it's already here now. We're just matching up to it. So communicate with the Spirit, communicate with God. Then on the other side of that, so we're going to take it a step further. So opening ourselves up to receive it. But then would you have the faith to put yourself out there in situations that you know those situations will not succeed unless the power of God is in it? I'm telling you, I've showed up on Zooms before, I've done sessions before, I've done whatever other things, put myself out there in ways that I did not feel qualified. I did not feel prepared and ready. I did not feel like I had any business being in the room or doing the things I was doing. And I asked God, like, would you please meet me here? Would you please give me the words to say? Because, or maybe I was really, really tired or even sick. It didn't feel good. And he has met me every single time. He has never failed me, not once. And I believe that he never will. So I continue to show up, even in my imperfection, even in my humanness. And I believe that he will fill in the gaps where I cannot. So would you have that kind of faith, and even greater faith than mine? Like, step out there beyond where I'm at. I'm not here to say like, oh, be like me, do what I do. No, like, what are the ways that you can step out there in faith? Like, where in your life can you say, I'm going for it and I'm trusting you're meeting me there, Lord? Because then you know, and then you get to experience. My husband and I just had an experience the other day, and I told him, I was like, you better get an evidence journal and write that down because that was big. And I don't know how anyone could deny the power of God after experiencing these things. But here's the deal. If you don't stretch yourself out there and put yourself in those situations every now and again, you won't experience the power of God. Not to the extent and the level that you would if you were scared, if you were stepping out of your human known experience, to be seen in a different light or whatever the case is for you. I'm not saying like do things that are foolish because he just said don't be foolish. I am saying like stretch and grow yourself, trust that God's going to meet you there. So would you have the faith to do that? And then so prayer, ask, communicate, put yourself in situations that are going to grow you spiritually, that you know you're going to have that connection with God to get through the thing, or to have that conversation with the person, or to do the whatever it is that's been on your heart to do. And then the next thing is just Bible, scripture. I believe the scriptures to be true. And so if I want deeper connection with God and I want to understand more, I'm going to have to go research it and seek it out for myself of what I believe to be true. And what am I going to find in that? And what's my interpretation and my understanding of that going to be? And then open yourself up to receive it, welcome the Spirit in. Like, I used to be kind of scared. I grew up in a religion that is not super duper spiritual, I'd say. It's more biblical. Truth is truth, and we do the things. The spiritual aspect, I feel like, was kind of, I don't know if missing. It was there. I just have a greater experience of it now. Maybe that's just me personally as well, and the way my life has gone. I don't know. But beyond that, welcoming the Spirit in and not being afraid of it, because I know there are evil spirits too. I believe that there are evil spirits out there as well. And so I'm not here to mess around, And so like, how do we discern what is of God and what is good and what is not, and all of those things? And so I think it's a personal journey for everyone. But for me, I've really asked, like, please fill me with your Spirit. Help me know you, know the goodness. And I'm open to receiving that. I'm okay with being surrounded and being filled with the Holy Spirit. So I think that that's important. And then breath work. In Genesis, it says, God, did I write it down? I don't know. Basically, God breathed spirit. God breathed the breath of life into man. I think our breath is very, very, very powerful. We just did a breathwork session yesterday in our group session. And I've also heard it said that, like, Yahweh, the name of God, when we breathe in, it's like the Yah, and then we exhale, it's like the way. And so our deep breath is almost like proclaiming the name of God in a way that is undeniable. And so I truly believe that breathwork sessions, connecting maybe in a meditation with breathwork, is a really powerful exercise. That I said this in my group session yesterday, though, that sometimes I think the things that are free and that seem simple, it seems like we need to have a complex solution to a complex problem, when what if there was a simple solution to what feels like a complex problem? So breath work is I love doing breath work. I practice it multiple times a week. And then nature, like Hannah, I think it was Hannah that said nature brings her closer spiritually. I believe that to my core. Again, everything's frequency. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. The walls inside our home, the lights, the artificial lights, all of that has frequency. When you go outside, the frequency of trees, of birds, of the air, of the ground, the earth has a certain frequency. It actually has a negative charge to it, where we as humans have a positive charge. And most of the toxins that we come in contact with also have a positive charge. So if we want to neutralize the electrical charge that's happening within us, going and putting our feet on the ground or laying our body on the ground is an instant way to neutralize your literal electrical charge and frequency within your body. The sun has like all of those things have frequency. And so you are being engulfed and surrounded by a higher frequency naturally. And to me, seeing creation in that way, in the way it's just orchestrated so perfectly in harmony, it to this day, and I think, and for the rest of my time here on earth, I will still be blown away and amazed by it. That just, it's undeniable for me. So I love that. I love being in nature. Absolutely love it. And then, getting around other spirit-filled people, without holding judgment towards them. Sometimes I think when we're in the presence of other spirit-filled people, if we are not on that same frequency, we might start to feel uncomfortable. I know I was this way for a while, but now I'm learning from them and I'm open to appreciating where they're at in their spiritual walk and learning from them and just being impacted by them. So getting around other people who are spiritually filled will naturally like rub off on you, because we're always trying to match frequencies of whatever we're around. So that's why our environment matters so much. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have on the spiritual piece over there. Dana says grounding, if you have not tried it, do it. It is instant, relieving and clearing the mind. Yes, man, it is. It's literally instant. I love that. I'm a big fan of that. And if they're truly spiritually filled, they want to bring us up and not make us feel less than. Oh, that is a great point. Yeah. Yes, they are. Great point. I love that. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing, and all your input is super good today. Okay, so on page 8, real quick, I just saw what time it is. We'll run through it. All right, the mental connection. You experience the world not as it is, but as you are. So two people can go through very similar experiences, and one can come out with a whole different viewpoint and move forward in a different way than the other person. So your experience of life is how you choose it to be. So it's all based on perception. Who you are and how you see the world can be changed. This produces a physiological response. So the conscious mind is more masculine. It does the work of producing thoughts and taking in sensory by way of perception. It gets to choose to agree or disagree. The subconscious is more feminine and receptive to what it is fed by the conscious mind. So these two are working together, but one says yes and no, and then it kind of dumps everything into the subconscious mind. And then from that subconscious mind, the body responds to the thoughts you have in your subconscious mind. We're going to do an exercise really quickly. Okay, so that was like a super quick rundown. Ways to connect mentally is meditate. I love to meditate. It is so powerful. The Bible says to do it. It is very, very powerful. And then visualize. So I think there's a difference. Meditate to me is more of coming into a neutral place, getting my energy in a good place, releasing things and letting go of things, and then getting my energy great. And then from that place, I like to visualize. I don't like to visualize when my energy is not great, because I'm visualizing things that are probably not my highest potential. But when my energy is in a good spot, then I like to go visualize from there. Journaling is really powerful too. So I like to journal if we're thinking like mental connection. What would you love is one I like to put down, even in any circumstance in life in general, whatever it may be. Just what would you love? That brings me a lot of clarity. And then who are you? My self-image. We work on this a lot inside of our programs, but both the 6-week self-concept course is basically all about your self-image and how you see you and how we can adjust that and then actually believe it and practice being it. And then even in the 6-month course, we do some work on self-image. So that is huge. And then affirmations, you can write your affirmations down. You can speak them in the mirror to tell if you actually believe yourself. So clarity, just journaling clarity and getting, you may have to like dump things out before, because there might be a whole lot going on up here that needs to actually come out first before you can, get to the other side of getting clear. So working through emotions, if they're clouding your thoughts, brain dumping your list of things you need to do for the day, or what you've been feeling about such and such, or whatever it is from your past that you may need to work through first to get that mental clarity and connection. If your past paradigms are too loud, like if your past paradigms, your thought processes are too loud and it's speaking like over you, you can't control it. I like to turn on a podcast or someone else who can speak truth into my life louder than the lies I'm telling myself. So in those moments of weakness, when I don't have it within me to do it, or I don't think I have it within me, I'm just, for whatever reason, I need some support, I will turn on a podcast or someone else to speak that truth and life into me. So those are kind of the ways that I like to connect mentally, and we can go into a lot more, but that's probably going to have to wrap it up for today. I do want to walk through, does anyone have any questions or any ways that you guys connect mentally that helps you with your mental stamina? You can put those in the chat and any questions that you may have as well. I would like really quickly to do an exercise. So you can just sit there, just sit up nice and straight and tall. I'm like asking you to do a whole lot of things. Put things in the chat. Do the exercise with me. Do all the things. Sorry. Okay. We're going to just put your palms facing up like this in your lap. Put your feet on the floor and sit up nice and straight and tall, and just go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to scan your body from the top of your head, go down around your eyes. Notice what muscles are tense. Notice your jaw. Are your teeth clenched? Is your tongue pressed in the roof of your mouth? Notice your neck. Does it feel tight? Notice your shoulders. Are they slouched forward or are they slouched back? Notice your abdomen. Does it feel tight and anxious, or does it feel nice and loose and where movement can happen? Notice your hips, your knees, your ankles, your feet. What does your body feel like? What's your posture like? Now I want you to notice your breaths. Are you taking deep breaths or shallow breaths? Okay. Now we're going to relax all of those areas that feel tight. Relax them. You use your mind to tell your body to relax. Loosen up all those areas. And now take a deep breath in and exhale. Continue letting your body be loose. Let it become lighter and lighter. Another deep breath in. Fill up your abdomen. Fill up your chest cavity. Exhale through your mouth. One more deep breath in your nose. Hold it at the top. Exhale. Hold your breath on that exhale. Notice any tingling in your hands or your feet. Notice your heart rate. Slow it down if you can. A couple more seconds here. You're safe. You're okay. Now take another deep inhale. Fill up your chest cavity. Fill up your belly. And exhale. Now notice your body again, how loose you feel. Now I want you to think about that to-do list that you have. All the things that are undone. I want you to think about that person you've been having some conflict with. That conversation that you might need to have with them that you've been avoiding. Think about those things at work that need to be done. Think about that project that's not finished yet. Think about the laundry pile and the dish pile and what's for dinner. Think about the world and the mess that it's in. Think about all the things you need to do with the kids or the grandkids, and all the activities and the calendar, how full it is. Now scan your body again, starting at your head. Notice what happened. Did you get tight? Did your eyes tighten up again? Did your jaw tighten up? Did you clench your teeth? Are your shoulders tight? What's happening in your body? How does your abdomen feel? Are your breaths still deep or are they shallow? What's going on in your body? I'm going to assume that just by thought alone, you released cortisol, you released adrenaline, you felt stress just by the thought. This is how powerful your mind is. So now we're not going to stay here. We're going to finish off with a deep breath. And exhale. We're going to go back to the top of our head. We're going to relax every muscle in our head. We're going to relax all the muscles around our eyes, our jaw, our neck. Let your shoulders be light and put them back nice and tall. Take another deep breath in. Feel your abdomen, feel your chest. You are safe. You are doing an amazing job. Exhale. All those things are done. It doesn't even really exist. It's all perception. Take another deep breath in. You get to choose how you respond to everything. You are in a place of peace. You are safe. Exhale. You are light. You are love. Continue scanning down your body, relaxing your abdomen, relaxing your hips, relaxing your knees and your ankles, connecting your energy to the floor all the way into the core of the earth. You have a light, a white vibrating energy of pure love swirling through your entire body from head to toe. It is pure joy and peace and security. Take another deep breath in. Breathe in that light. It fills your lungs, it fills your abdomen, fills your mind. Exhale. You're so clear and peaceful and safe. Okay, open your eyes. Did you guys notice how your body felt? Did you feel different? Because I definitely did, just even thinking through the to-do list and the whatnot. Like, that is definitely the opposite of meditation. But I wanted you to feel how instantaneous our body can change. When we tell it to relax, it relaxes. When we tell it that we're stressed because we're perceiving stress just based off thought alone, it instantly tenses back up. And then we had the control, though, to go back in and say, no, 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 calm yourself back down. We're safe. We're at peace. We're full of joy, no matter the circumstances around us. So that list didn't actually go away. Those things didn't actually just disappear. The projects, the people, all the things, it's still there, but your experience of it can be so very different. And you can approach it with a whole different energy. And you don't have to feel such deep emotional impact from all the things going on out here in the world. So I hope that this session has been beneficial for you guys. I really appreciate you being on. If you have further questions about anything, about the session, about the membership, about tomorrow, about anything, let me know. We'll get the replay sent out very soon. And we'll see you back tomorrow at noon. Dana says she likes to take a walk or a drive with no intention to clear her mind. I love that too. I love going for a good old walk. That is very, very clearing for the old mind. Okay, Hannah said, my body's holding so much tension from resent, emotional, and mental abuse I'm experiencing. Dang, LOL. Yes, girl. Oh, recent. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that you are going through that, and I'm gonna be sending you all kinds of good energy. And I'm here for you if you want to talk, girl. We're all gonna send you love, everybody. I believe. I know every one of these women on here, and I know they're good women and they're spiritually filled women. And so we're all gonna pray for Hannah. Katie just sent the link again for my Calendly. If you guys want to book a call, those are on there. Free 30-minute call. Sending good vibes, Dana says. Yes. I love doing this, guys. Thank you guys so much for showing up, like in your potential, with your love, with all of who you are, and just being here today is super uplifting to me. And I believe it's uplifting to everyone here. And I hope that it has been for each of you. I'm seeing nods from the audience. Awesome. I love it. All right. Love you guys. And I will see y'all tomorrow at noon.